The NRA members, law enforcement, aren't afraid of our guns. They're not afraid of our guns. That became evident when I put that rifle down on the hood of the truck and started walking back, and he said, "Not you." Okay, fine.
Training kicks in, and a small-town hero becomes a comfort to those in mourning. I'm Grant Stinchfield for NRATV. We've got an exclusive extended interview with Stephen Willeford. He was gracious enough to let us into his home to talk about the horrific events that unfolded before his eyes, how the community has come together in the wake of senseless violence and evil, and how his actions that saved so many surprised even himself. It turned out to be a battle of good versus evil, a gun battle actually, outside of that church in Sutherland Springs, Texas. Stephen Willeford would come face to face with a killer. He had no idea, inside that house of worship, the monster who pointed a gun at him just killed 26 people and wounded 20 more. But Willeford had a gun too, an AR-15, and Willeford was trained to use it. He's an NRA instructor, longtime NRA member, a man who knew his firearm and his training were the tools to stop the rampage. His life and the lives of so many more depended on what he did next. And what he did next is heroic. NRATV sat down with Stephen Willeford in his home. We spent the evening with him. He told his story, the one the mainstream media doesn't want to hear. A good guy with a gun stopped a bad one. Here's a portion of our exclusive interview.
I had my gun. I had it, it was locked in the safe. But when my daughter ran in and said the man was in tactical gear with a helmet and body armor, when I opened up the safe, I pulled out an AR-15. And AR-15 is much easier to handle and much easier to aim. And, I grabbed a handful of ammunition. I didn't want to, I was hearing shot after shot after shot, and I didn't want to waste time loading a full magazine, so I just grabbed a handful and ran and started loading the magazine as I was running out the door.
You hadn't seen anything yet, though? I
had not seen anything, but my daughter had taken her car and drove down to the corner to figure out what the sounds were. And she was right down by the church in her car, and she saw him shooting, and she came back in the house and said, "There's a man in black tactical gear shooting up the Baptist church." Those people are my friends. Those people have known my family. Those people have been here for generations. I kept hearing those shots, and I knew every shot might be representing another person getting hit by a bullet. And I didn't take time to put shoes on even. I ran out of the door, and I ran across the street. And as I approached the neighbor's house, I saw this gray SUV setting out front in the street with the engine running and the driver's side door open. And I still at that point was looking for someone and trying to survey a situation. I positioned myself behind a pickup truck, and as soon as I came up behind the pickup truck, it was a neighbor's truck. He came running from around the front of the SUV and turned to get in to the SUV. And when he turned to get in the SUV, I saw he had a pistol in one hand, and I saw a bulletproof vest, and I couldn't tell anything about him, the way he looked or anything else, because he had a helmet and a dark shield is all I could tell. He saw me, and we exchanged gunfire, and he got in his vehicle and he shot 2 rounds through the side window, and I saw very distinctively 2 rounds come through the window. And I shot through the window with my rifle, and the window collapsed down when I did. And I took another shot. And he drove off and turned down 539. And I looked to the left and I saw another man in a pickup truck. Yeah, I didn't know him or anything else, but he had been parked at the stop sign and saw the whole thing. I ran over and tapped on his window and I said, "That man just shot up the Baptist church and we have to stop him." And he opened his door. This is a crazy thing to open a door for a man with a rifle that you just saw in a shootout. But he opened up his door and I got in and we gave chase. And he was driving very fast. And when he started, we couldn't even see the guy. He was already out of sight. But and we were passing cars and stuff, and we called 911. He called 911. And the first thing I did, because I had no idea how many rounds I started with, because I just grabbed a handful out of a box and stuck them in a magazine, and I thought, what if we catch him? And I dropped the magazine out and looked, and I had 1 round left in the magazine. Put it back in, and I knew at that point I had 1 in the chamber and 1 in the magazine. And I told 911, get there quick, we're going down 539. They said, where down 539? And about the time they asked that, we were at a crossroads.